You have to think about it IRL. Sometimes in D&D, a blacksmith might take hours, days, weeks making a new sword. Enchantments can cost thousands. Yeah, the best way to think about it is that weapons in D&D, everything in D&D is made to be very realistic. So, like a gun, weapons can break, yep. And they usually do after a little bit. Ask Rebel Red about weapons breaking. So it's very realistic. So like, if you buy a 9mm and you buy a 9mm gun in real life, they both do the same amount of damage. They both do a 9mm bullet. To get a 9mm handgun to do more damage, you have to do something that other 9mm don't do. So you would have to get like crazy different bullets, or you would have to do something. So that's kind of the way of like putting magic on a weapon. Like a broadsword and a broadsword, they both do broadsword damage. Like there's no difference just because like you sharpen one or something like that. They both do the same damage. Now, weapons could get dulled, and then you have to like get them sharpened so they go back to doing their normal damage. You can lose gear, you can lose an eye, finger, limbs, you can die despite the res spell. Yeah, it's all realistic. Because then they would just have the blacksmith make it out, better material, keep the handle. Oh yeah, if your weapon broke, yeah. You could have somebody reforge a blade if you have your sword break on you. But yeah, Rebel there ran into a rust monster, and he lost his great axe right in the middle of a fucking fight. So I'm trying to see like the price on magic weapons. Let's pause real quick so I don't get killed while I do this real fast. Because magic weapons are insanely, because one, you're paying for the weapon, and then two, you're paying for a mage to enchant it. Shit. It's probably in my DM's book. Hold on real quick. DM's guide. Oh my god, this is just so complicated. Hold on. Can I have a blacksmith make my sword out of harder material? That way I don't worry about it breaking. My sword... Nah. I mean, you could. No. Felix and Nemelia, we're talking like the people who put enchantments on things aren't adventurers. The people who put enchantments on things would be the equivalent of like a level 20 wizard who has spent his time working as a merchant for that. And that's what they do for a living. Oh, that's right. I remember how they do it. It's just weapon +1. Horn of Valhalla. Girl. Okay. Okay, so what? Okay, so any weapon of +1 is considered of uncommon quality. Okay, so uncommon quality items, because so a long sword's a weapon, right? It's common, and then a +1 sword, so, which it has a small magical enchantment on it that gives it +1 attack and +1 damage. That would be uncommon. A +2 is a rare, and a +3 is a very rare. There is additionally legendary items, which are named items that have special abilities attached to them. So a +1 longsword being an uncommon. Well, let's put it this way: it's 150 gold for a dagger, a +1. It's 500 gold for a longsword. That is +1. And every magic item is the same way. If it has any special abilities beyond just +1, like, then you're talking like thousands of gold. It's also worth noting that I don't have like a durability meter as a DM that I sit there and wait, and then I go, oh, your weapon broke. It's 500 gold for a longsword, roughly. Now, that's the basic cost. That's the at cost. Like, if you had the skills to make it, it would cost you 500. With the markup that the blacksmith puts on the blade, the work that he does on the blade, and then the markup that the enchanter puts on it, plus crafting materials. Like, if you were to buy it retail, it's going to be higher than 500 gold. As a rule of thumb, you don't buy a lot of things in D&D, you find things. Stash your money because you're worried about losing it? That's good roleplay. Thinking about that kind of shit. Yeah, like the incident in which Rebel Red lost his great axe, it was because they were fighting rust monsters. And rust monsters have the ability to break gear. So that was a theme that happened to him. Stealth gear? I mean, really, you just want to make sure that you're wearing armor that doesn't give stealth disadvantage. If you're talking about armor that makes you better at stealth than your natural ability, that's going to have a magical enchantment on it. More so than just +1 armor, it's going to be grants plus, gives advantage on stealth rolls or something like that. And that's a magical ability, not just +1 armor. So that's going to be like thousands of gold. Yeah, Rebel Red carried a spare great axe after that. He ended up getting a magical great axe pretty quickly after that. And then he just kept like a normal mundane axe on his side, just in case that thing broke. A Norwood. Honor. A Norwood. The wood of Anor. Thank you for following. Boo-doo, boo-doo, boo-doo. I'm fucked if we fight it because the battle has a hammer. Sword. Break. The only way you can prevent a weapon from taking rust damage is by making it a magic weapon, which is very expensive. Yeah. And even certain rust monsters don't even care if it's magic or not. If you fight a high enough level one, it breaks weapon. Bottom line. So I checked out Dauntless yesterday. Pretty neat, even though there is it. Yeah, noted. It's pretty well made. I'm starting to hit some like levels of repetition, but I'm pleased with it. Yeah, you can do that too. You can try to fix it. Well, you're not at level 1. You're not going to get armor that helps in stealth. You're not going to be able to afford it, or you'll be lucky if you even find a guy who can make you something or has something in stock that helps with stealth. What you can do is make sure you're wearing armor that doesn't make stealth harder. Yeah, Monster Hunter is, but I'm talking like this is even more repetitive than Monster Hunter. Like, it takes a while before Monster Hunter starts to use the same monster skins recolored, and I'm already running into that. What else? Like, and the weapons, they're not changing very, like, you get through all the monsters on Monster Hunter once, and then you go to the next Hunter rank, and then you basically fight the same monsters recolored, and you get the same looking gear with better stats, but it's recolored, and then you go to G rank, and it does it all over again. Like, the way they do it is I fight the same monster recolored 3 or 4 times, and then I go to a new monster, and I fight it in 4 different variations. In different recolors and shit. I wasn't a big fan of that. Hachikasaru Dusu Daisu Daisu. Killing it, bud. Thanks. So if 5th edition Elven armor helps with stealth as well. And it's either expensive or rare. Well, I mean, so yeah, you could, there's magical items out there. That's the thing though, is in D&D as a player, you don't know what the loot table is. You're sure that there's magical items out there that probably can do what you're wanting, but you don't know this legendary item called Elven Stealth Armor exists, because it's not a video game. You can't go and, like, look up the stuff. As a player, you can, but that's the difference between player knowledge and character knowledge. Oh yeah, that part is good noted. Like, in Monster Hunter, because of the notorious drop rates, you'll hunt something probably 20, 30 times trying to get one item off of it so you can build a set. And on this, I think like the most I've hunted something was 4 times to get everything I needed off that monster. It was more so the things in the world, like iron ore, that I needed that I wasn't getting enough of. Nah, he's a ranger. he wanted to be a wolf more